That's okay. That's okay. This is a little bit different what we're doing today. We're doing something uh, not political specifically. We're going to avoid politics. So let's just break it out. Let's do it. Let's get started with the politics free zone. So yeah, let's talk about it. I wanted to promote some things today. I did. I wanted to not so much promote things, but just tell people about some things that I found. And I figured, hey, instead of just running a commercial on you, I would trade you something. So I decided to do an AMA. Anything, ask me anything. Anything you wanted to know about, I'll tell you. Um, Within reason, of course. But in return, I'm going to tell you about some good people. Um, and this is why this is happening. This is why I'm doing it. There's three things that have happened. Got this morning. Opened up the mail. Got this morning. This is from Flip. They sent this to me as a thank you because I've promoted Flip before in the past. And they saw it. Somebody told them, hey, he's talking about you, and I wanted to send that to you. And it just kind of touched me that they reached out that way. Nobody is paying me to do any of this. Nobody's paying me to do any of this. And by the way, you need to avoid this. This is a scam caller. I moved out into the sticks, and I have to tell you, since I moved out into the sticks, the number of scam phone calls I get is off the hook because this is a region where a lot of really old people live. That is the same caller that has been calling me about bullshit Medicare stuff, trying to scam people out of their Medicare. And the federal government knows they do it. This is scam season. Be very careful. Did you know that me, who is not even on Medicare, I have unclaimed Medicare benefits that they would like to help me claim? Yeah. Bullshit. Sorry about that phone call. I should have turned my phone off. I do apologize. In fact, I'll do it right now. Just let me turn it off real quick. But yeah, three things have happened that made me wanted to do this. A non-political, ask me anything and tell you about a few things. First of all was, I opened this up this morning. I was really touched. I was really touched that they sent that to me. I promote things. People, they don't pay me. They don't pay me. I just find good things. You people actually find them and tell me about it. I didn't find Flip. You found Flip. See, and let me back up. Y'all know I'm a coffee addict. Hell, that's why the show is Coffee with Texas Paul. I am a straight up coffee addict. And I thought I knew what good coffee was. I did. I started doing the show and people started to turn me on to micro roasters. And oh my God, my world changed. Just changed. There are some companies out there that are roasting beans that are incredible. I mean, incredible. Some of them are really expensive too. I can't afford that, but some of them are really expensive. But there's some really good coffee to be had out there. And then people started to send me coffee from roasters that are doing good things, amazing things. And I want to tell you, I was really touched. By the way, hope your coffee is as good as mine. Hell, I hope it's better. I really do. I hope you're having the best cup of coffee you ever had in your life this morning. So let me back up a little bit. I thought I knew coffee. I thought I knew everything about it, and I didn't. I really didn't. You folks, when we built, this is why we do the community thing. This is why we do the live chat. Folks, if you're watching this on replay, open the live chat panel. Our collective information is much greater than just what I can go and find out and glean on my own. And you people started putting me in touch with people by sending me stuff. I mean, y'all sent me coffee from Flip. And I got to tell you, the reason I like the micro roasters is, the major corporations, time is money. Time is money. They crank the heat up on their roasters and they burn the shit out of those coffee beans. And I buy coffee beans. I don't buy pre-ground coffee usually. I buy beans. And I'll tell you why in just a second. Don't let me forget to tell you why. If I lose my train of thought, because this is an unscripted show. If I lose my train of thought, get me back to this because it's important why I buy beans and grind my own. A grinder is not expensive. You can buy an inexpensive grinder at Walmart for like 10, 15 bucks. Okay. Um, but I like beans, right? And these micro roasters take their time. I want you to imagine like you're caramelizing some onions in a skillet. You can crank that skillet up to like as hot as it'll get, throw a little fat in it and those onions and scorch the shit out of them. They're not going to taste very good. But you can take some decent fat in a skillet and you can caramelize those onions and take your time with it. And you're going to end up with something that's sweet and wonderful and tastes delicious. And that's the same exact thing. Let me turn this off. I got a lot of bright sunlight coming from this side over here. Let me turn this off. That didn't help. But anyways, same thing with coffee beans. You get a roaster that takes their time and roasts those beans slowly and brings them up to temperature. Somebody posted about, oh, Hal is on. Yeah, I don't mean to step on Hal. This is going to be very short. This will be very short. This isn't going to be a typical 2-hour live. It's not. I love Hal. I'll pop over to Hal as soon as we're done here. By the way, Hal's father just recently passed. I want y'all to be extremely kind to Hal. That rocks your world. That's like a bomb going off in your world. I know when I lost my father, I walked around dazed and confused for a very long time. So yeah, y'all show Hal some love, really. And we're going to keep this short, but I just wanted to, this is why I like coffee beans. Okay. The quality tends to be better when you order beans, and you can control how your coffee tastes. When you grind it, you can grind it really fine and get a much stronger coffee. So if you get some beans from a particular roaster that you like and you like the flavors and the flavor notes that you're getting, but it's not quite strong enough, put it back in that grinder and grind it down a little finer. Your coffee will get stronger. On the other hand, if you get some beans that you like, but you get a lot of the tannins, a lot of the bitter, you can turn that down by grinding it coarser. Forgive me. Still fighting that case of the flu I got. Talking's a little rough when you sore throat. Oh man, that coffee's killing it this morning. Boom, bingo. That's why I love you people. Y'all understand shit. Y'all are so far ahead of the average person. It's our community. We have built an amazing community. We really have. And forgive the political flag. If you're MAGA, don't run away. I'm not going to do political shit today. This is about good things. It's a surface area. Yeah. If you find a bean that you really like the notes and stuff, but the bitter's driving you crazy, grind it a little coarser, a little shorter in the grinder, and you can turn that down. You can control it. That's why I really like beans. I really do. I like to fine tune my coffee. I'm a straight up coffee addict. That's one reason that I'm doing the show today, is that you people have put me in touch with some people that are doing some amazing things, and I want to talk about those people. And again, this is an AMA. If you've got any questions, ask me anything. I've gotten a couple of email questions I want to address, but the second reason that I wanted to do this was this. This happened. Y'all know I've gotten into woodworking, right? Hal Sparks. He's a good man. Does a great show. He's on right now. I don't want to step on a show. Forgive me. I got a really bad cold, flu, something. But look, this happened. Y'all know I'm into woodworking. So I've been following this particular piece of equipment, and I'm a tightwad. I'm a super tightwad. I am. I had no apologies about it. Everything I do, I've got to get it as cheaply as possible. It's who I am. It's what I am. That will never change. I don't waste. So I've been following this particular piece of equipment, and I don't need a big shop size yet. And a lot of y'all woodworkers know that some of that equipment is really fantastic and get really expensive. I don't need that. I'm just starting out. I'm a hobbyist. So I've been looking at this particular piece of equipment, and I've been following it. And I opened up my Home Depot app because I've got a Home Depot card, and I see this. It's 1,099. Well, it hasn't been 1,099. It's been about $680, and I've been sitting there watching it, saying, "Okay, I'm going to do a Cyber Monday, Black Friday deal." Forgive the coughing. I'm truly sorry about that. And I'll pick it up for about $500. I figured that's my ceiling. Oh no, they've marked it up about $400, and then they'll mark it down a couple $100 for Black Friday, and that really offended me. That upset me. That upset me a lot. And no, it's not just tariffs. They do this every year. They take items that they know people are looking at, they mark them up ahead of Black Friday so that when they mark them down on Black Friday, they're just as expensive as they were before they marked them down or more. It's a scam, and I'm not falling for it this year. So this year, me and Mrs. Texas Paul decided we're going to do a modest Christmas. We are. We're going to give people gifts that matter. And a lot of the things I'm going to do, I'm going to send people coffee. I am. And I'm going to send them coffee from people that are doing good things. And that's why I said, look, let's do an AMA and talk about some of these coffee companies, these micro roasters that are doing incredible things. And like Flip is, let me pull their website up. Flip isn't just a coffee company. It's not just good coffee. They take rescue dogs. They take rescue dogs that are problematic, that they can't get rid of, that kill shelters will end up killing. They have set up Flip Farm, and they take in these dogs, as many as they can afford to, and they give these rescue dogs that would be killed a place to live and rehabilitate them and work with them and try to find them homes. That's what they're doing with a portion of their profits, and that's something I can get behind. That's why, I've always promoted it, somebody for free. They don't pay me. One of you sent me Flip Farms coffee because y'all know by the way, Mrs. Texas Paul hates pumpkin spice. So she's mad as hell that I've told y'all that I love pumpkin spice because y'all keep sending me pumpkin spice coffee. Because I'm an addict. I live for pumpkin spice season. I do. I freaking love it. She hates it with a white hot passion of 1,000 suns. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh, but it's hilarious. But yeah, y'all have been sending me coffee, and y'all sent me coffee from Flip, and I looked at it and I was like, that's really freaking cool. So you know what? When I send gifts this year, I'm going to send coffee from places like Flip. Another one is you've heard me promote this before. This is something I found on my own. You guys didn't send me, and it's Biddy and Bose. Actually, I didn't find it. Y'all know I just took it. This is the third reason that I wanted to do this, because some people got upset that I just took a cruise, and it was a long-term supporter of the show. And she sent me an email. She's like, man, I'm sending you support for the political stuff, not for you to live the high life. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I get your feeling. I understand that sentiment. I really do understand that sentiment. I get it. I get what you're saying, but it's not true. It's just not true. Let me tell you a funny story about her point was I just went to Boston and then I immediately just took a cruise. And she's like, well, man, you're just taking vacation after vacation. You've taken 5 vacations. I'm like, no, I haven't. No, I haven't. I've taken 1 vacation this year, and the trip to Boston was work. Let me explain. My trip to Boston was to attend and participate in the No King's Day rally in Boston. Then from there, I went to Maryland, where I am. And folks, I do political work. If I have to give something up, it won't be the political work. It'll be the show. I just want to be clear about that. It won't be the political work. I was invited by one of the most influential, well-known, well-liked union leaders. He invited me to his daughter's wedding, and I went to that. And I worked there. I worked with union members. I sat down. I listened to union members, union leaders. The entire wedding, we sat at a table. He intentionally put me at that table with other union leaders, and they expressed their feelings, their sentiments, things that they did not like that were going on with the Democratic Party, things that they wanted to see more from the Democratic Party. That's what I did. It was work. I never took my suit off. From there, I went to the Kennedy dinner in Washington, D.C., where I sat down with leaders there, congressmen like Congressman Byers. I'm going to have him on the show here soon. One of the most intelligent members of Congress. People always ask me, they talk about Democrats. They don't know what Democrats are doing. They don't know. We've got congressmen like Congressman Byers is literally one of the smartest human beings you will ever want to know. This guy has to legislate about AI. So he went back and got an advanced degree on AI. He's working on an advanced degree on AI so that he can actually work on the subject. This is how intelligent this man is. It's like Pete Buttigieg wanted to read a Norwegian book, so he taught himself Norwegian. We have some incredibly intelligent people, and I don't want to get too political. I don't. I'm just telling you I was working. That was a work trip. That was meeting with a congressman. That wasn't a vacation. That was work. Yeah, I saw a few sites, but no, it was work that I was doing. That was not a trip. The vacation, the cruise was, but I'm a tightwad. And I want to tell you a funny story. We cosplayed as Billy and Sandy. And you may know, from those of you who knows, I'm not Billy and she ain't Sandy. But we cosplayed the whole trip as Billy and Sandy because Mrs. Texas Paul and I are a great couple because we're both tightwads, super tightwads. We were able to take this cruise because someone canceled at the last minute. And Mrs. Texas Paul is really good at snatching those deals up. So basically, we got, by the time you got the cruise credits and everything, we got a free cruise. Who wouldn't go on an amazing cruise that basically ends up costing you nothing? That's crazy to turn that down. So yeah, no, I'm not out living the high life on your donations. I'm not. But this is what we intended to do. This is what we worked for. This is what we worked for and what we intended to do our whole lives. So yeah, we had fun with it. We cosplayed the entire cruise as Billy and Sandy because it was Billy and Sandy's room we took over. And yeah, they... Oh my God, forgive me. My phone is not wanting to die. I don't understand. I don't get it. It's not wanting to turn off. Probably got hacked or something. But anyways, yeah, so that was it. No, we're not out living the high life on you. And the AMA on that one, people wanted to know how I ended up getting a cruise because I mentioned that before so cheaply. This is how you do it. You watch the cruise lines closely. You have to be in our position. We are both in a position now in our lives. We worked our entire lives to get here where we are free. If something comes up last minute, we can do it. Now, not everybody can. And I get that's not fair. I get it. That's not fair. Not everybody can do a last minute thing, but you have to be in a position where you can just pack your bags and haul ass. And then now I'm fighting I got flu or cold or something going on. Please forgive me. But that's how we pulled that off. Okay, folks, get it? That's how we pulled it off. We're tightwads. We're tightwads. But yeah, that's kind of the third reason. I got a lot of people asking questions and I wanted to clarify. I wanted to do an AMA. Anybody that wanted to know about what's going on, I wanted you to know what was going on. Now, the second company I want to tell you about is Biddy and Bose. Biddy and Bose is an amazing company, and you all have seen me with my cups before. I supported them when I was doing some work in Annapolis. When I was doing some work in Annapolis, I was meeting somebody right by the Naval Academy. He took me to this coffee shop, and he's like, man, you got to try this place. I know you love coffee. You got to try this place. And I was amazed. I didn't recognize it at first. He was completely quiet about it. He didn't tell me what was special about this place. And I went in and we sat there and we had a great cup of, he's like, what do you think about the coffee? I'm like, it's freaking amazing, man. Because normally you go to a coffee shop, and I'll be honest with you, they are buying bitter, nasty, cheap as they can get coffee. I'm telling you, I'm not a fan of like the major chains, coffee chains. The coffee's usually terrible. It is. I don't know anybody that goes to Starbucks and says, I love Starbucks coffee. Not to diss Starbucks, they're doing what they got to do. But I'm not a fan of the coffee. This place had freaking amazing coffee. And then I had the cranberry scone with it. And it was like, man, this is really freaking good. And he's like, you're not getting it, are you? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, look at the people. And I started looking. I was like, oh, wow. The guy that checked me out, oh, yeah. There's something going on with him. What's he's autistic. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, he's autistic. And I started looking around, and he's like, hey, he says, everybody that works here is neurodivergent. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, this company, and this story is amazing. It was a couple that had 2 neurodivergent children. And they're like, they saw the way people treated these people, dealing with it with their own children. They saw it firsthand. So they started a company because they knew the capabilities of these people. They knew how capable they were. And this guy intentionally let me sit there and have one of the best cups of coffees I ever had in my life, one of the best sales experiences, everything, before he told me what was going on with this company. And it's named Biddy and Bose after their children. They created the company so that their son and daughter would have a place to work and make a living. And now it's spread nationwide, and that's what they do. That's what they do. They hire neurodivergent people. They hire people that are challenged, just to show people we can run a kick-ass coffee company. These are not second shelf people. These are not second tier people. These people are badass, and they prove it every day. So I absolutely was floored. I loved it. And that's why I've always, every time I end up going to Maryland, there's some great seafood places I love to go in Annapolis, and I will stop by Biddy and Bose, and I got a water cup, and I wanted you to know about that. The reason I wanted you to know about that, if you're going to do what I'm going to do, me and Mrs. Texapol have agreed this Christmas, we're not going to go hog wild. We're not going to go crazy. We're going to give people gifts that matter. There are companies out there. There are coffee roasters that are doing amazing shit. They really are. And if you want to give somebody a cool gift, you can order them some coffee or something like that from a place like this. And that's kind of why I'm doing this. Those 3 reasons are why I'm doing this. This is another one. This one was sent to me by, I believe it was Marcia Klepper. She's foundational member of the show. Foundation. This is Fire Department coffee. She sent me this and some coffee. I'm gonna tell you, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. She sent this to me, and before I'll promote a company or mention a company, I check on them. I do. And when I went to check on this company, the guy that founded the company had promoted it on a right-winger's podcast. And I was like, this guy's my guy. I can't promote this shit. And I got to stewing on it. And I was like, no, I need to look at this again. And I tell you why. Because I am 100% a Democrat. 100%. I am a hyper-partisan Democrat. And if somebody came on my show, that doesn't mean that they're me. It doesn't mean that they hold my views exactly. I tend to invite people on the show I agree with and want to promote, but it doesn't mean that everybody that's doing a good thing has to bend the knee to my politics. And I thought, well, that's hypocritical. Here I am judging this man that started this coffee based on the fact that he went on this person's show. I wouldn't want somebody to do that if they came on my show. So I rethought that. I did. And I started doing some checking. And turns out a guy that I absolutely love. Y'all know I got my start on TikTok, on the talking end of it. Got my start on TikTok. One of the guys that started about the same time I did was Jason Patton. Now, the name won't mean anything to you. It won't mean it. But if you're on social media, you have seen his creations, his work. Jason Patton he's the EMT guy. He does funny skits, and first class, well done. The cinematography, the sound, everything is if you don't know, he does amazing. Not just the production quality is fantastic of his TikToks. I've always been incredibly impressed, but they're also funny as hell. The whole point is what he started with is things that he saw as an EMT fireman, funny situations. And I know you've seen his TikToks. When I show you his face, you'll know exactly who it is. He's now a vice president with Fire Department Coffee. And that's one of the reasons I took a second thought at it. And I was like, wow, okay, let's take a look at what they're doing. They've started a foundation where they support veterans and firemen that is doing amazing work. And you're going to love this guy. You already love this guy. Jason Patton, the guy in the middle. Yeah. He is also associated with the company. But take a look, go to their website. This is their website. Take a look at the work they're doing and see if that's not something you can support. And if you want to send some gifts or something that aren't really, really expensive, you don't want to blow it out this Christmas like I'm doing. Like I'm not like I said, I'm going to say it again, that they've gone too far this year. I'm very angry about what corporate America is doing this year. The whole not coming out against the tariffs and all the others. I'm not going to get too political. I promised this wouldn't be political, but I've been angry about a lot of things. And then the whole Black Friday, Cyber Monday scam that they run every year, which is more than I can take. So again, we are doing modest Christmases and I'm telling you, Fire Department Coffee, their foundation, they're doing amazing work. They really are. They're doing amazing work. I'm not seeing a lot of questions for the AMA and going through the chat. So apparently y'all aren't very curious about it. But anyways, that's okay. That's okay, because that will tend to get me in trouble with Mrs. Texas Paul. The last one I want to mention to you that is just a company that is doing amazing work is this one right here. And this is one that y'all found for me and y'all sent to me. And I'm so glad I've got a couple cats that I adore more than life and so. That I adore. AMA has asked me anything. AMA has asked me anything. One of my favorite moments from the cruise. Okay. I love the Democratic Republic. The Democratic Republic. Dominican Republic. I'm tongue-tied. I'm on cold medication, folks. I'm tongue-tied as hell. I love the Dominican Republic. I do. The people, if you've never known, culture matters. I love Puerto Rico. I love the Dominican Republic. I love these Caribbean nations that have Spanish influence to them. The culture that comes out of these is just amazing, and some of the nicest, kindest. I mean, it was so good to hear joyous laughter again. Just people just standing around talking and joking and laughing. But we went to a little town in the Dominican Republic, just spent some time on the beach and listen to the waves come in, listen to the people singing, the music. And I have to tell you, that was my favorite. That was my favorite moment on the cruise. It really was. Ate some mofongo. If you haven't had mofongo, you've got to get you some mofongo. It's made from plantains um, that are plantains are like male bananas. All the bananas you eat are female. Um, Plantains are a different variety. They're male bananas. They're hard. You can deep fry. My favorite way of eating plantains is Mrs. Texas Paul will fry them. Then you crush them till they're about that thick. And then you fry them again, and they're crunchy on the outside, and they're soft and steamy and kind of have a potatoey texture on the inside, but they've got a really great flavor. And I dip them in salsa with some salt. Better than plantain chips. Plantain chips are good. Don't get me wrong. Plantain chips are good. But if you can get you some and every grocery store has them. People don't know what they are. They're these big green bananas that are huge. They're like, and they're like, what the hell are these? But no, they're oh man, they're so good. I'm telling you, try to get you some. But mofongo is made out of plantains, and it is really good. It's every culture has a starch base that they eat, whether it's my mother and her Irish potatoes, or many Asian cultures with rice. Plantains is the starch base in a lot of these Caribbean areas, and they are freaking delicious. Freaking delicious. Thanks for asking me. Thank you for asking. And I'm sorry about this cold, food. I know it's gross. But the last place I want to mention is Kitty Town Coffee. I had no idea this place existed. And then you folks started sending me coffee from here. And I got to tell you, this is incredible what they do. They're like Flip, but for cats. They rescue cats. They take a portion of their profits and they support cat rescue. And it is amazing what they do. Go to their website, take a look at what they're doing. And it is just incredible work. I mean, it just blows me out of the water what these folks are doing. And I'm a tightwad. I can't afford to spend a fortune, but look, this is $19 for really good coffee. Really good coffee. I can afford to treat myself every once in a while with something like that. I mean, take it from a tightwad. I don't blow a lot of money. I don't drive a Mercedes. I don't do stuff like that. I intentionally watch my money very closely. So when I treat myself, it has to be something like this. And I'm telling you, this is incredible. This is incredible. You can get you some first class, top of the line, top notch, some of the best coffee you've ever had. And they're doing amazing things. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about. Look, we've gone about 3 minutes longer than I intended to here, and I am stepping on Hal's show, and I don't want to do that. Hal is a good friend of mine, and I love Hal very much. So what do you say that we all pack up and head over to Hal Sparks and drop in on him, and let's all say hi. Tell him Texas Paul sent you. And let's all drop in and say hi to Hal. But this is what I wanted to talk to you about, folks. I wanted to answer any questions that you had, and email me. I'll talk to you. And I just had a guy yesterday. I was out shopping, and I looked like, holy hell, I looked like death warmed over. I felt so bad. I've had this migraine headache. I swear to God, I think I have COVID, but the COVID tests keep coming back negative. Migraine headache, feeling like shit, looking like shit. And this guy walks up, are you Texas Paul? I'm like, yeah, I'm Texas Paul. I know I don't look like him right now. I look like death warmed over, but yeah, I'm Texas Paul. And his face lit up and it's like, don't ever hesitate to walk up and say hi. Ever. Even if you're MAGA and you want to argue with me, fine. You'll get back what you give. As long as you're respectful, you'll get respectful back. Don't ever hesitate to walk up and say hi, ever. I'm telling you. And I'll tell you why. You need to know there's more of us out there than you realize. There are more of us out there than you realize. We're politer, we're kinder, we're not as loud, but yeah, there's a lot of really good people out there, and never hesitate. I see it all the time. I do. Even on the cruise, I had a guy finally after 3 days worked up the nerve to come say hi. But I would be going, walking through the halls or, going someplace, and he would look at me and look at me and look at me and look at me. And I'm like, I knew it. And finally the third day, and he's like, "Are you Texas Paul?" Yeah, man, I am. Come on. So, but anyways, let's all go say hi to Hal. Okay. I just wanted to just do a shout out for these 3 companies. Again, we've got Flip. None of these companies pay me. None of these companies pay. This is just good people doing good work. Flip supports dogs, trying to really rehabilitate dogs out of that are difficult to find homes for in rescues. You've got Biddy and Bose. They hire and support the neurodivergent community. You've got Fire Department Coffee, which is doing great work with veterans and fire departments. And of course, you've got Kitty Town, which is close to my heart because the kitties. The kitties. Who can't support the kitties? I wanted you to know about those. And I wanted to tell you because I didn't know about them until you, except for Biddy and Bose. When even somebody else told me about that. Tell somebody else about it. And if you know of another place that's doing great work, I want to hear about it. I do. I want to hear about it. Because I was just blown away when I was out looking for coffee. Looking for to see these micro roasters out there doing great work. It just warms my heart and makes me feel good about it. Anyways, we're out. I'm done. I'm going to go say hi to Hal. Come with me. Tell him Texas Paul sent you. Let's go pop over there. Enjoy some Texas cities at night.